What's up, man? I got my camera here, I got my buddy, and I brought my drone as well.
Awesome.
How are you doing?
Very good.
Good.
That's really cool.
Yeah?
Appreciate it. Yeah.
No, thank you for letting us.
It works with the weather and everything.
Is there somebody that could maybe give us a quick tour of the farm? You or some, I mean...
Yes, it's just, the farm owner just called for a meeting, but I can ask him
okay.
the timings.
This is my friend here that's going to give us a tour of Life Farms. What's your name, man?
My name is Yogi. Yeah, I'm farm manager at Life Farms.
Nice. How long have you been working here?
2.5 years now.
Cool. Well, you want to show us around the place a little bit?
Yeah,
sweet. We actually tried to go grow microgreens at our house one time.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some done, but not quite as good as this.
All right. Well, we grow about 100 trays per week right now, so that's absolute record, and we want to do more. We have capacity for about 150 trays. We grow about 15 different varieties. You see the pea shoots over here, sunflower microgreens, buckwheat, as well as the cabbage. And then on this side we have everything that's related to kale and radishes. Purple daikon radish on the bottom here. Next to the green daikon radish, we have broccoli over here, these trays and all that stuff. Arugula, and our signature blend is actually the rainbow mix.
This is one of my favorites too.
Right,
yeah.
it's a good one. And that's a blend of 7 different varieties. And yeah, it's probably the healthiest thing we sell here at the farm.
That's cool. You know, I'm not sure how you use microgreens, but I like to just literally put them right on top of whatever I'm making. If it's like a bowl or a salad, it just adds flavor and extra nutrients on.
Yeah, that's what I do too. I mean, you can also, you know, put them on your sandwich, in your salad, scrambled eggs, taco. I mean, there are many ways to use that. It's pretty loud in there because of the fans and everything, but
that's all right. What's all this stuff?
Well, that's the seedling area. We grow all our own seedlings. So everything we see in the field later is started in here. So all the lettuce varieties, kale, cabbage, the Asian greens like tatsoi and bok choy comes all from here. And it takes about 4 weeks to get them to the size where we can then transplant them into the field. So the first 4 weeks are really important to get a strong seedling.
What's the secret of success in here to make sure you're getting a strong seedling to then put out into the farm?
I mean, you need a good potting soil, a good soil mix, and then you need pretty constant conditions like the water is important. You see these drip irrigation, and actually not drip irrigation, it's the sprayer heads or something, and they're important. So they run 2 to 3 times per day, and that's really important so they get enough water to build enough leaves then and enough root to go out into the field. These are green onions or spring onions, exactly. And now we're in the growing tower area, so we grow some stuff in these towers, as you can see here. The green onions, and then you see bok choy and tatsoi in next rows, and also some strawberries. So
what's the difference between growing in here or just right into the ground?
I mean, as you can see on a small footprint here, you get quite some plants in here. So per planter we have like 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's almost 50 plants per tower.
That's
and
cool.
That makes it pretty efficient.
Yeah.
And it takes up less room, or?
Yeah, exactly. So you save the space here. And
so you're getting more food out of less space.
yes, and
that's cool.
we have space, but we already know that we need that and need all of that in the future, and maybe have to add a little bit more because the demand is really high. Which is
that's cool.
Nice. Yeah.
So ever since, or so has the demand for just Life Farms been growing more and more lately? Or?
Absolutely, yeah.
And
we actually have not enough.
That's good. That's good. You know, and has it been since the pandemic, or has it been starting before that, or how has it affected it?
Well, the pandemic was an interesting change for us. We actually opened an online store overnight, and right away got orders in, and it was at a point where we barely could handle the amount of orders, and now it's back to a healthy level. So we have still our farmers markets, of course, a big C.S.A. membership now of 130 members, 150 members. So it's actually really on a high level, and we still deliver to our restaurants as well. So.
And that allows for like every season you're just able to do a little bit more, grow a little bit more,
right.
and serve a little bit more of the community, right?
I think we are maybe a little bit over 50% of the production capacity. So as soon as we get better with production, we can supply more and then accept more C.S.A. members and get more restaurant orders and so on.
Do you currently have a limit of how many C.S.A. members you can take in, or is it as many as you can?
Still as many as we can.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Is your banana pay? Oh, I see a rack right there. Do you sell the bananas just online, or do those ever jump into the C.S.A. bag?
Not enough yet. We'd like to do that, include once in a while some fruit, but it's not enough yet. So we have some areas where we think we can grow more bananas along the perimeter, and hopefully in the future we have more fruits available for C.S.A. members.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So this is the compost of the soil?
Right, so that's the compost pile here. We produce our own compost, but since it's so much land, it's over 2.5 acres, and we grow organically, so compost is an essential part of it, of organic growing. We need more. So we buy compost from a local supplier, and that's the rest of that big pile that we get twice a year. It's a crazy mustard green. I mean, you know mustard greens, like a big leafy green.
Yeah.
And this is a different variety, and it's an essential part of our Vitality Mix. Vitality Mix is a salad blend with different baby greens, and what makes it really interesting is the Ruby Streaks mustard green, which is this variety.
And what makes this so interesting?
I mean, try it.
Yeah, just the taste?
The taste, yeah, it's an amazing flavor. I mean, you can help yourself. Just get a little idea.
You want some too? That is pretty good.
Right?
Yeah, I really like that flavor.
Yeah.
It's
And
like a
of course-
unique flavor if you put that into a salad or a sandwich. It just really
absolutely unique, and it's not too spicy. You know, some of the
Yeah.
mustard, they blow you
Yeah.
away, but this is just the right peppery flavor, and then also really nice color and nice texture.
And it really does have like a mustard taste.
Yeah.
I love mustard. Yeah.
It's actually a parsley variety. So that's the curly parsley, and then the normal one's the flat leaf parsley, Italian parsley, and that's more the curly parsley. But over here, and I'll show you a good one, which is so that's fennel. This way a little bit.
And what is this?
Fennel?
Fennel.
Fennel, yes.
I'm not even sure I've ever heard of that.
Yeah, and very popular in the Mediterranean countries, Italy and southern France, Spain, and so on.
And how do you eat that?
So
Do you cook it or just raw? Or?
you can do that raw. I recommend to cook it, or have some casserole dish in the oven. It pairs well with tomatoes and onion and garlic and onions, and also feta cheese if you want. So it's a good one. It's healthy, and you can smell. It's very aromatic. The leaves, it's like that anise smell. And you can you can use the greens as well. You can chop them and then add them to your dish or use them for something else. It's a really cool vegetable, I think. So, as you know, you can grow traditionally with tilling and keeping the soil open, which is probably what most farmers do in the world. Or you can do something that's more alternative with mulch, and that's city mulch available in every village and city here around in Pinellas County, and you get it for free. And we picked it up. We picked up some truckloads and spread it out pretty thick, as you can see here. That's probably more than 20 inch, and it breaks down over the time and turns into compost. and then you can plant stuff in there. So we're almost there.
So you're waiting for it to break down into...
Yes, you have to wait 6 months, and then you have a product. You have something that's rich in nutrients and then good to plant in. And we just weeded it a little bit because we had some issues with nutsedge, which is our biggest problem at the farm.
Is what?
Nutsedge. It's a weed, and the weed is everywhere. So in moist soil, it's hard to control. That's why we haven't had time yet to plant something in it, but I think next week or so we have some seedlings ready, and then we grow everything you can grow at the farm in that mulch, and we won't add any extra nutrients. So this is also a big advantage, you know, you don't have to add anything extra, just plant in that mulch and it will grow, it will thrive.
Because the mulch kind of breaks down into the fertilizer, right? Like, because I heard every time it rains and you have the mulch, it kind of disposes like a compost tea throughout all the plants, and it builds that network to feed them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of what we did at our house.
I actually watched the video.
Yeah?
Pretty amazing.
That's cool.
One way to grow tomatoes, and this is actually the most common way if you look globally at the tomato production. It's a single stem technique on a twine attached to, you know, some wires in our case, and we have indeterminate tomatoes. That means they grow technically as long as they can in their life cycle. They will never stop, and you want to grow them as long as possible. And the idea is really to let them grow 8 feet, 9 feet high, and then when they reach the end of the twine, we can move that little roller up there. We can move it to the next position, or even a little bit further, and then you have tomato plants. They are on the bottom, just parallel to the soil, and then they go up. You can grow tomato plants 22 feet high.
That's
22
cool.
feet long, actually.
Yeah.
And then you have a really long production, because that's what you want. You want to have a healthy plant that produces as long as possible. And the technique is called leaning and lowering. So you lean them, and you also lower that thing, and then you have them parallel to the soil and then go up. Yeah. So they're close to production. We also stagger the planting a little bit. So these are the older plants over there. So you see they have already fruits and everything. Yeah. So soon, maybe next week or in 2 weeks, we will start harvesting there. Then we have the next generation over here. And these two they are actually just a couple of weeks in the soil. So it's going to take a couple of weeks until they produce.
And these are more cherry tomatoes?
Yes, we focus entirely on cherry tomatoes in the greenhouse right now, because we get the best production. It's also a more profitable crop than, let's say, heirloom tomatoes or bigger tomatoes.
And how long has this farm been serving the community, so to speak?
My farm was founded 2012-13. That was the first season, and they started with a C.S.A. right away. It was a small C.S.A. with, you know, just a couple of members, but then every year they grew, and now we are at almost 150 members.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Here you can see it a little bit, the leaning and lowering. See how the stems are almost touching the ground?
Oh yeah.
And we could lower them more, but since they're at the end of their life cycle, we don't do so much anymore. We rather, you know, pull them out soon and then plant a new generation of plants. It's a better use of that space.
Yeah.
We just planted that last week, that row, and probably this week we're going to do another row.
Do you cut the bottoms and then plant them and then pull the tops? Is that?
Yes, actually these are just the pot without the bottom. The reason is we have quite a high population of cutworms, which is a moth, and that moth eats, the caterpillar eats the young tomato plants. It cuts it through, and then you lose the whole plant. And they crawl over the surface, and when there's a pot, when there's a plastic that surrounds the stem, they can't go in, and then they just walk on and eat something else.
Until it gets older and more established to protect itself?
Absolutely, and then I can take it off.
Yeah. We planted like one cranberry hibiscus, and now it seems like all over our front and backyard it'll pop up every year. Yeah.
That's a cool one. I like it. All right, so here you see our lettuce production. We grow, I would say 10 to 15 different varieties of lettuce, and one of the really popular one is the so-called Salanova mix. And Salanova means new salad, new lettuce. It's a variety developed in the Netherlands, and this row is entirely Celanova here, and you see it comes in different shapes and different colors, and I think we grow 8 different varieties right now, and that's the one that has always small leaves. We use that for our Vitality mix or for the Celanova blend, and we also sell that a lot to the restaurants.
How many different restaurants do you guys sell to?
About 10 different restaurants right now. Yeah.
And they're all just in the like Tampa Bay, St. Pete
Tampa Bay area.
Yeah.
We have one over in Tampa, and then we have 2 at the beach, Clearwater Beach, some in Dunedin, and then also in Clearwater and Safety Harbor.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. You see, the kale is interesting, the Tuscan kale.
Yeah.
It's almost like a little Florida palm tree if you look at it, you know.
Yeah.
And then you see some other varieties like Swiss chard is in between, broccoli, collard greens at the end, kohlrabi. So pretty popular varieties, and they like the cold weather. They actually thrive when you have the cold nights and it warms up during the day. That's
what the kale does.
Kale loves it, yeah. So they really like that weather. And yeah, the Florida season is just opposites from anywhere else in the United States. It starts in September and ends in May, and in the summer you can't do a lot.
That's cool. And this is all your space to grow and expand, huh? Oh, I see all the bananas too.
Right, there's some bananas, and we can expand a little bit behind that hedgerow, and we'll see, you know.
That's
At one point
cool.
we will, you know, grow more land, definitely. We really want to attract beneficial organisms, and insect-eating birds are really important because they eat a lot of caterpillars and aphids and so on. And we have some success, but we need to do more to really, you know, can count on them and then have a better product.
Beneficial predators and birds of Caliandra and sweet almond. Do you ever have those or experiment with those?
He mentions that a lot. What is that again? Caliandra.
It's just a plant that it gives off this kind of pretty pink flower that almost looks like a fishing lure. It's actually a nitrogen fixing, so it helps fertilize the ground while it gives off this flower that that attracts the birds and the pollinators. And it's a pretty cool plant. I can probably even bring you guys some.
I'd like to see
cuttings too. Yeah, because that's another one that we have just one planted, and then about once a year or so it'll just have little seedlings come up all around it or around the yard, and then I'll pull them, I'll put them in pots, and I'll give them to my other friends who have gardens, and it seems to well. And then the sweet almond, I'm not sure if you ever heard of that one, but
I know this one.
Smells so good. I haven't been too successful at propagating it, but it smells so good. I always see so many bees and the pollinators and the predator bugs around it. So what's all this?
Oh, these are sunflowers.
Okay.
Yeah. So they always spawn at the end, and they start to, you know, blossom soon. You can see a few, and then these are just got planted last week.
Oh, that's pretty fast for 1 week, huh?
Yeah.
Or they were seedlings planted. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So they were already strong seedlings, and then they have to adjust a little bit, and you know, then they really push.
Yeah. How many people do you have working here on the farm?
I think there's about eight people. Yeah,
so
let's take
these are ornamentals, or what are?
Right, exactly. The ornamental for the flower bouquets. And we have also a bi-weekly flower C.S.A. share. So quite a few people signed up to get their flowers every other week, and it's a beautiful mix of our native and ornamental flowers. And you see a couple here. The big ones in that middle row. Over here, the yellow ones and the pink ones, these are snapdragons. Then we see some zinnias at the end. These are the beautiful flowers at the end. And that's a plant that's related to amaranth. Celosia and then other amaranth varieties are pretty nice, and they're also pretty hardy for the conditions here in Florida. And the pink and light pink ones, they're called stock. And they're also doing actually pretty well.
That's pretty cool. So you have a complete separate C.S.A. where people are just getting flowers and not even edibles too, huh?
Right.
That's pretty
flowers,
cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to the Netherlands?
I've been to the Netherlands.
And seen like those fields of just so many tulips and flowers.
Yes.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It's quite something. I'd say that's everything. Yeah.
Sweet, man. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Yeah. And